and justice reigns.
A while on our America's Mattress Live Tower Cam. This is what Halloween should have looked like, right? Look, we spent all this time talking about how beautiful the moon we're going to see. This morning was actually the peak of this supermoon, and well, you're not going to see it very well tonight. And these next couple of days, we're going to see more and more clouds start to pop up. 57 degrees, cooler, of course. You don't clear at the airport, but I mean, you can see all those clouds. Not too much humidity, not too much winds. You know, our sunset is getting earlier and earlier as we get towards these next couple of months here, towards the solstice in November. 70 degrees was our high today, 13 degrees above average here in Grand Junction. I mean, that just speaks for itself. We should still be in September, almost into September. Look, these warming conditions, they're going to start to calm down a little bit these next few days. Those clouds are going to help us get a little bit cooler throughout the day. They're going to warm up at the same time as some of these overnight temperatures briefly, and we'll start to return to freezing. You know, 34 is reaching Delta, 32 in Montrose. You know, those freezing temperatures are what you'd expect, but up towards us in Grand Junction, where you saw a bit more clouds, well, you start to still hang out in those 40s. So mileage may vary these next couple of days, but it's really very cloud dependent. High temperatures we've seen, 70 in Grand Junction, 73 in Delta, 69 in Montrose, not feeling seasonal at all. I dare I say it feels pretty nice outside, but look, incredibly warm couple days that we've seen previously. Your satellite radar shows that moisture coming in. It's not quite going to put an end to a streak of above average days. You have 7 above average days in a row. In fact, the warmest start to November we've seen since 2020. Montrose doesn't look much different. 55 degrees, clear skies at the moment at the airport. You know, most of those clouds are kind of confined up towards the north, but they're getting closer and closer. On our national satellite radar, you can kind of see it's an atmospheric river we're tapping into, right? That's just when the ocean gets hot enough, a lot of moisture gets lifted up all at once. And for the northwestern quarter of the United States, that means thunderstorms and some strong gusts. But for us, you know, not really much more in the way of some clouds. Let's look at our futurecast. We're warm today, right? We had this atmospheric ridging. It's this curve, and that just means we got some warmer conditions, really. And those 70s are going to start to go away, though, because we're going to start to tap in more of that atmospheric river moisture. I know that rain over to the west coast makes you feel a little bit, you know, maybe we get some moisture finally, but really, you know, just a spare dot or two towards the central portion of the mountains up towards Steamboat and the Park Range. That's kind of the most you're going to get. Let's look at our futurecast. Can I take a zoomed-in view? This is the 9:11 p.m. You know, hang out in those 50s and 40s because we're going to see that cloud cover keeping us a little warm overnight. See, you know, some sprinkles of snow up towards our north, up towards Glenwood Springs and those more mountainous areas, but it's really going to be the central portion of the divide, not really affecting too much of us here on the western slope. And then tomorrow, 1 p.m., 65 in Grand Junction and in Delta. So what does that tell you? Those clouds are going to make us feel a little bit cooler. We're going to tap in a little bit more of that cold air at the same time. Friday at 7 a.m., you know, getting those 30s overnight. Day by day, we're going to start to get a little bit cooler as we progress throughout the week. So I know, just in time for the weekend, right? What you wanted to hear. 60 degrees will be your high on Saturday, mostly cloudy skies, 58 on Sunday. And you're watching those overnight temperatures too, right? How close are we going to get to freezing? It's going to take us here in Grand Junction a little bit longer. Again, most of that moisture kind of coming down from the north. It's going to make us feel a little bit warmer in the overnight. Montrose, though, further south, more likely to cool down in those evenings. 61 tomorrow will be your high. Then look, already 33 overnight into Friday. And then you get to Saturday, 56, 57 on Sunday. Again, much closer to freezing temperatures down towards the southern valleys. Not so much for us here in the Grand Valleys. Progress throughout the week. Feeling cloudy as we get into next week. Still no precipitation in the forecast.